Can you say welcome to the video? Hello, Frugalistas and Dumpsterinos. I am in the garden with my little partner in crime, and we're going to harvest some vegetables and make an amazing garden supper. Woohoo! Yeah, let's go. Come here, little partner in crime. Come here, my little one. There's my harvesting buddy. Are you excited?
Yes.
Is harvesting the best part of gardening?
Yes.
Is it the only part you'll do?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. All right, here we are at the cucumber patch, which I'm starting to be unhappy with this situation. So cucumber farmers out there, what's going on with my leaves? What's happening? Why are they turning yellow and brown and spotty and stuff? It's definitely not from lack of water, so don't tell me it's from lack of water, because it's not lack of water. All right.
There's one right here, but this one definitely needs some more time to grow, because look, it's pointy a little bit.
All right, so you think that one needs more time to grow and maybe fill out its little nubby misshapen end? It might. Sometimes they do. Ours actually have done a good job of filling out to the end when we leave them for a few days. Sometimes they're just weird and misshapen, but all right, let's keep looking around in here. Oh, I see a bean, maybe.
A bean?
Look, right there is a bean hanging. Do you see the bean? Get the bean. No, not up from there. Right, put your hand in. There it is. Okay, pull it close. Yeah, at the stem. There you go. Sometimes it's hard, in fact, often it's really hard to see the green vegetables amidst all the green leaves.
There's one over here.
A cucumber?
Yeah.
Does it look big enough?
Yeah, I think
According to your expert harvesting assessment? I think that's one we saw the other day.
pretty good.
That's a little fatty, isn't it? Here.
It is.
Into the basket.
Is this a bean?
I need to kneel.
I found a bean.
That's what I was going to say. I think I see another bean. Yep. And look, wait. Sometimes it's a bean and sometimes it's a
Vine.
It's a vine. It's very, very tricky and deceptive sometimes. All right. And the beans really I see some small beans that need to grow a little more. Oh, look at the little baby cucumber right there. He's too small. Okay, what is going on with that? It looks like a map from really high up of some rural landscape with a lot of farmland, but we've left some acreage fallow. But it's not a map from taken above. It's my cucumber leaf. Why does it look like that? All right.
Ooh, bean.
She found a bean. She found a bean. Let's see the bean. Oh, that's a nice bean. Look at that. We're going to town. I sprayed the leaves with a baking soda solution for powdery white mildew or something like that. Something powdery and white they had. But we had a huge rain last night. Huge! And I think it washed everything off. I did harvest a few beans from over there last night, so I will have those. I have other cucumbers and some tomatoes that we harvested yesterday also. Oof, I almost fell over. Oh, there's a squirrel in the garden, Liesel. There's a squirrel. Oh, there you go.
There's some red tomatoes over there.
All right, we will follow you. Do you think they're ripe enough? Are they red enough? Or are they still a little orangey? Because we got the red ones.
I'm not sure what right.
Oh. I think we could take the two darker ones. That one, like that one, and then the...
Oh, they're cold and wet.
Cold and wet. Well, it's cooled off a lot overnight from that huge thunderstorm.
Ooh, this one looks nice.
Ooh!
And chunky.
You found, a chunker. Look at that.
Chunkus.
A chunk. Get the chunk, man. Some beans on these plants I definitely left on too long.
And then here's another one.
No, that's a leaf.
This.
Oh, wait, no, that's a bean. Oh,
Is this big enough, or I feel like that one's...
It's like lost in there. Sure, why not? Let's just pick it. Let's just do it. I picked some that had been on too long because I didn't know they were there. And I did eat them because that's how I know that they were on too long. And they tasted like wood. They didn't taste like anything, but they had a texture of wood. I ate them anyway. Those would have been better to save for seeds. Look at this one, Neve.
I feel like that one would be really good for seeds because none of the other ones have bulging seeds.
Right. So we'll save that for seeds. I think that's very wise. They say that next year it's going to be hard to come by seeds, but they who say that are the preppers, and I'm not saying they are wrong, but they definitely have a stake in predicting the worst. Yes, there are flowers. These were the beans I planted in the spring, and they made, here's some little beans. They made beans in the spring, and then they kind of did nothing and got lost amongst the dying pumpkins. And I really didn't know if they were going to make any more beans because I didn't know what the heck they were doing, but it has flowers. They're making more beans. They may not be great beans. But you know what the thing about bean plants is, Neve? Ooh, there's a bean. What about that one? That looks like a decent little bean. It's small.
These
and that one too. Look at that one.
These three look like they are right. This one definitely does not.
Yeah, that's really tiny. What about that one right there? That one? And then we'll let this one grow more too? What about this one? Yeah.
This one looks long enough.
Are you going to eat some of this amazing vegetable meal that I'm going to concoct?
The cucumbers, and that is all I will
You'll eat cucumber? Oh, wait, here's a bean. Look at that bean.
Oh. Nice.
It's kind of flat. What do you think?
It's a little flat.
Oh, but what I was telling you, Neve, about beans is beans return nitrogen to the soil, which is a good thing. It's just less mommy pee that has to go in the garden. And when these are all dead, we can just sort of plow them under and compost them and let them feed the garden again for next year. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's definitely one that is becoming seeds for next year. Look how it's turning yellow and it's shrinking back against the seeds. Liesel, do you want to just push the whole fence over? You have a little itch there you need to deal with? Frugal Daddy found me all this chicken wire in the shed because he said, oh yeah, you can build a fence with chicken wire to keep the dogs and other critters out of your garden. And then he just dumped it here on my path like I have any idea what to do with all this chicken wire. Like all by my delicate self, like I have any clue. He gunked up my path. Look at all the little bean flowers. That's a good thing. So do you get what I'm saying about nitrogen?
What's nitrogen?
Nitrogen is, it's a nutrient. It's an element that is very important for a lot of plants to grow. And they suck it out of the soil. And that is why we put our diluted urine in our garden, because that is free nitrogen that we're just, and I say we, it's just me. Nobody else is peeing in buckets in the house. Wish they would, but they don't. That's why we put our diluted urine on the soil to bring nitrogen into the garden for certain vegetables that love it. But beans also bring it back to the garden. They don't take it. And so I'm just saying, even if these don't produce a lot of beans themselves, just the plants composting back in the soil will be good for next year's growth. All right, here we are. Ooh, I think I see a tomato. Oh, look straight down, girl. Look at that. Oh, yeah.
This is like a cucumber you would buy at the store.
Well, that is praise indeed. It's a good job, good job. Careful. Oh, there's little bumblebees doing their bumblebee magic.
A beautiful cherry red tomato.
Nice, thank you. Now, Neve, did you know with the cucumber flowers, you know how the cucumber fruit itself grows from the flower? Not every flower makes a cucumber, though, because some flowers are like girls and some flowers are like boys, and they're needed to work together to make the cucumbers, but it's the girl flowers who actually grow into the cucumber. A little baby over there. Aren't there any others to pick? Well, I did get a lot last night. I mean, we do have enough for a good meal, I will say. Some of the cucumbers we have picked are real plumperinos. The tomatoes still need more time. We're hoping that global warming brings us a very late frost.
This one looks nice and big.
You got a bean. Get that bean. Oh, there's another one. Bean.
Oh, there's more beans.
Ooh, Neve. Oh, you got to come back. Come. Neve, there's a big long bean. Look.
This one's long bean. And then there's another. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
One's pretty
Get
good.
the long one, and we'll let the little ones grow a little more. Cool.
Nice.
You're saying you wouldn't eat those?
I don't like these kind of beans. I like sweet peas.
You like sugar snap peas? Not green beans? Well, the sugar snap peas they're getting there, but you haven't gotten there yet. All right, so all these volunteers are producing some lovely little tomatoes. They're just not red yet. Look at them with the rainwater just dripping off the bottom. A jungle cat walking through the garden. Look how pretty these are gonna be when they turn red.
Guess what? Tomato. That's what.
All right, Neve, check this out. I gotta find one that's starting. Okay, there we go. All right, look, Neve. Can you see that's starting to grow from a flower, and that's not quite a cucumber shape, is it? It's roundy, and I'm pretty sure it's cantaloupe. I don't know if they'll get far enough to create any actual cantaloupes for us before the frost, but it's interesting to know that we can actually grow the plant. Like we can grow a cantaloupe plant. You see a red tomato?
Red tomato.
Oh, yes.
I'll tell ya.
All these little mini tiny tomatoes are all from volunteer plants.
I found something majestical and full of wonder.
What did you?
2 giant cherry ripe tomatoes.
Beautiful. Put them in the basket. A couple of nights ago, Neve and I were watching a video on how and when to harvest butternut squash. So I came out here to my butternut squash plant. Oh, look at what the wind did to all my tomato plants. So yesterday morning I came out here to my butternut squash plant to check to see if any of my little squashes were ready to harvest. And I sort of picked one up to look at it, and it just snapped right off the stem. And it was not ready to harvest. It's not ripe yet. It's got little green stripes, but it's going to be part of the beautiful garden dinner tonight because I'm going to eat it. And if it kills me, well, you'll know why. Mommy met her fate. It was her squash. Now, look at this. Look at this. What horror oh, look. The wind blew all of these tomato plants over. It's quite windy right now. All right, I got the tomatoes standing up again. But we have a big unprotected spot here now in terms of dog trampling yard. And I did just plant some more beans here the other day. So it's nice to see that they're sprouting up. I also planted hundreds of carrot seeds here. And yes, I watered them. I kept them wet. I know you have to keep your carrot seeds moist. It takes about 2 weeks for them to germinate, but I don't see any carrots over here. No, I don't. Am I bitter about that? A little bit. All right, so here's our butternut squash plant where I mistakenly harvested one that was too young, but hey, I get dinner out of it tonight. I think I'll roast it with some of our potatoes that we have harvested. So here's another one growing. Why does it have gashes in it? What's happening? What's happening? You better get yourself together there, my friend. Let's see. I didn't realize that people trellis. Look at that tiny little butternut squash growing. They trellis butternut squash. I've seen my neighbors do it. I saw it on YouTube. Mine are not taking advantage of the fence line that they're right next to. And they're just growing across the yard. But, well, it is what it is. Next year I'll try to trellis them. You would just think a vegetable that's this heavy would have trouble trellising, but no. See, that one's still got green lines on it, so it's not ready. It's also very small. When they don't have the green lines on them and the stems are turning brown and dried out, and therefore signaling the plant doesn't need to nourish the fruit anymore, well, then that's time to harvest. What is that big clod of dirt? Any others? Look, there's a potato plant still growing in the middle of this squash plant. All right, here's my other one that's doing well. I had 3 that were doing well, and I harvested 1 by mistake. I try to kind of keep them up on piles of like dead grass and stuff so they're not sitting right in the dirt. See, it still has green lines on it. So, that's butter squasheria. This would be a good day for flying kites. It is so clear and breezy and beautiful. See, the breeze is blowing my tomato stake. Grab your basket, little farmer girl. What? Giant tomato. Yes, these are my giant beefsteak staking. There. Oh no! Oh, don't even tell me. Did it get injured when the whole plant fell over? Well, that was just last night. Oh, I don't care. I'm eating that. I'm just going to cut that spot off. I think it just got hurt when the whole plant fell over. I don't think that's from a bug or a squirrel. As if bugs and squirrels would keep me from eating my tomatoes. Look how dirty this one got from being in the mud. There's one of my little watermelons, but I don't think the vine it's attached to is alive anymore. And we did harvest one the other day. I mean, they're the size of a big apple. And it had a ton of seeds in it that I saved. No, yeah, I wonder why things are not growing properly. Liesel? Ma'am, could you stay out of the garden, please? It's part of her patrol territory, so she said no. Look, there's some of the dumpster flowers Frugal Daddy saved. They're doing beautifully planted in the garden. There's Dharma in the garden. Oh, we got more casualties over here. Hold on, I gotta lift these up again. Ooh, look, that's really getting ripe. I don't think it's ready today, maybe a couple more days, but look at that tomato. Kind of stuck there in the wedge. Liesel knocked a bunch of tomatoes off a plant the other day, and I just almost lost my mind. All the tomato plants that are growing these really, really, really tiny little baby tomatoes, those are all volunteers. And so they're not obviously, you know, giving us a whole lot of food. They're making a lot more of these little tomatoes than I've ever had happen in past years, because I've had these volunteers for a few years, but they're probably not really worth the amount of nurturing and trouble they're getting. But they got their chance to live. And oh, look at this, Neve. Oh my gosh, that is a little cantaloupe growing. That's our best cantaloupe so far. All right, you stay right there and do your thing. We won't mess with you. Ooh, look, this is a butternut squash plant growing in this pot. And you can see this little green guy starting over there. All right, things like that are doing okay. I'm just gonna, don't mess with it. Don't mess with it. This is watermelon, but you can tell this is not gonna, oh look, it's trying so hard. I don't think we're gonna get anywhere with that. You know what those are?
Carrots.
Yes, those are carrots I planted earlier in the spring. I also put more carrot seeds down here, and some of them have sprouted. Well, that actually, I think that's chamomile, but that's carrot. A few carrots. But for the amount of seeds I put down, I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. Liesel, really? Do you want this? You want this nice ball? I'm gonna throw it for you. I didn't say jump. Oh! You know the cool thing about carrots, Neve, is if they're in the ground past a frost, they get sweeter, they get better. You can actually see at the very top of the dirt a little carrot. Oh good, she brought it back. Shall I throw it this time?
Yeah, throw it.
All right, here you go, here you go. You ready, dog? We ready? Frugal Daddy was giving Dharma a haircut, and he didn't finish. And she looks bizarre now.
And there's a cat in a tree.
A cat in a tree? How can it be? Where'd it go? Oh, it's going up.
It's loud. I know it's nice and breezy up there.
Oh my gosh. Nature cat up in the tree. Hi, that's Laszlo. Hi. Oh, these are finally getting somewhere. These have just been hanging here being green for so long. and they are starting to ripen. This is one of the plants I think the dog came by and knocked a bunch of tomatoes off, and I just was like so upset. Look at this weird little shaped one. Look, it's got...
It's a tomato
like
with a tomato on it, like a double cherry.
Yeah, that is so interesting. All right, so we'll give those a little bit more time. All right, the harvest is growing. Are we going to eat that acorn too that you found?
No, that's going to my acorn collection.
Acorn collection.
When I was picking one of the beans, I broke off the big bean and it left a tiny...
Why didn't you eat that tiny little bean? Eat it, eat it, eat it. Fresh, raw, green bean. Yum, yum. There's the yum face. Did you actually just put it on the ground?
Yes.
You're not allowed to waste anything we grow. I think that's our harvest for today, but we'll combine it with what we picked yesterday. It looks beautiful.
Yes. Looks pretty big. Like, this could be a breakfast.
Could be a breakfast. All right, let's get... Okay. Let's get cooking. All right, here we go. Here's our little butternut squash, and my plan is to roast it with some of our homegrown potatoes. I'm going to roast this with the skin still on. And, oh, it cuts like butter. Cool. I'm going to try to save the seeds, of course. All right, how do I want to cut you, my friend? I think this is the first butternut squash I've ever grown and harvested. Didn't really cut it down the middle though, did I? Oh, look at that. In the past, I have roasted butternut and acorn squash seeds the same way you do with pumpkin seeds. But I wasn't thinking seed saving back then. But now I am. I'm going to cut this up into chunks so they're about the same size as the little potatoes. But you could just roast it, you know, boom, on the tray, and then it would be fine. But I'm going to cut it up into little chunks, cute little chunks. I have the oven heating up to 400. At which temperature would you guys roast squash and potatoes? 425. With my oven, if it goes above 400, really, it sets off the smoke detectors. Even though there's nothing in the oven, there's like nothing burning on the bottom that's causing smoke or anything. It just does. All right. I just smelled it. It smells fine. It looks good on the inside. It's not huge, but nonetheless, a beauty. All right, there we go with our cut up chunks of squash. I have my tomatoes and cucumbers there from today's harvest and yesterday. And then here we have our little potatoes. And I want to cut some of them up. The bigger ones I want to cut because, you know, some of them are really, really small. Just figure it'll just be better if they're closer in size. Are you excited to see this, Autumn? Yes. Okay, I'm roasting the potatoes and the squash. I'm going to grill some burgers, too. Does that sound good? Is that your happy dance? Yes. We'll pour in some olive oil. And we'll put in our squash. Possibly a bigger bowl would have been helpful. Pour on some more olive oil. The rest of the bottle of olive oil. Doodly doodly doo. All right. Give it a little toss. so that each chunk is gently coated with a little olive oil. Only the finest Walmart brand olive oil for us, because it's a great value. All right, we'll sprinkle with some salt. I'm really not going to put any other seasoning on besides salt. I'd kind of like to put some garlic on, but the kids think that they don't like garlic. They don't realize that, even though I've told them that pizza has garlic and pasta sauce has garlic and garlic bread, which they like, has garlic. But if they thought I put garlic on this, they'd be like, I don't like garlic. Yeah, you do. You do. You like it. So we'll pop this in the oven. Here we go. All right, there are the green beans. I'm thinking, what am I thinking of doing with the green beans? I probably should just be roasting them. Should I just throw them in? I don't think they take as much time. But that might not be a bad idea, because steaming them, I don't think the girls are really that into steamed green beans. And I have some oil left in here, so I could toss those in with that oil, and after the other things roast a while, add the beans in, you know, because I don't think they take as long to roast. And we want to keep them kind of crispy, right? That's what we're going to try. And then in terms of the tomatoes and cucumbers, I'm just going to slice them all up and, you know, as a little sort of a side dish kind of a thing. Of course, they'd be great as part of a salad, but since I didn't grow any lettuce yet, I mean, I have lettuce. We have a lot of dumpster lettuce, but I feel like that would be cheating because this is a out of our garden kind of a meal. So let me slice up some of these cucumbers. Oh, look at this. It's a fatty. I like that one. Look at that. Look at that. Love cutting up fresh vegetables right from the garden. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's just sort of a snappy crispness to them that you just often don't get with an older veg that's been sitting around in a store or a dumpster for a while. This, look at the size of that. This is supposed to be one of my big beefsteak tomatoes. This is one of the biggest ones I've grown. It's not that big. And then these, I mean, I guess that's a Roma. I don't really remember planting Romas, but sort of seems to be what it's turning into. Do 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 do. All right, there we go. I mean, I figure some oil, some salt. How bad can they be? I actually just planted a whole bunch more bean plants because they grow so quickly. And I found that I had some bean seeds left over, and I thought, why not just put the seeds down? All right, see, look, for compost. All right, try to coat those in the little bit of oil that's left in the bowl, which is a nice way to use up those last drips of oil. And when it seems like the potatoes and squash are making some progress, I guess I will add the beans into the roasting situation. All right, here we go with the vegetables coming out. All right, let's plate this meal up, baby. There we go with the dinner for the kids from the garden. And there's Frugal Mommy's plate. And I am excited because I am hungry. So let's give it all a taste. Small, but delightful. I have to shut my eyes so I can really focus on the flavor and the crunch and the juicy delightfulness of the fresh grown cucumber. Let's try my first homegrown butternut squash ever. You know, obviously with oil and salt, you can't go wrong unless you burn it, which I didn't this time, which is pretty amazing. But there is that sweetness to the squash, which is excellent, which I like, which I'm happy about. So even though I harvested it a little early, it's great. It turned out fab. Beans, beans, good for your heart. Ooh, we have a bite of squash, potato, and bean all together. Freaking delicious. I'm psyched, dumpsterina. Like, I'm really, really excited that I finally grew something viable to eat, and I didn't burn the heck out of it when I tried to cook it. The squash is really good. I'm very excited about the squash. I know it's bringing tears to my eyes. What are you doing up there, dude? I am going to expand my butternut squash growing operation next summer. I'm going to do a lot of butternut squash because I think they also keep very well over the winter months. Just thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did because I get to eat. But yay, yay, food from the garden, yay. Can you say thanks for watching? Okay. Well done, my little man.